Hosted in conjunction with Chris Media, the CEO interview series allows investors to hear directly from the CEOs leading the companies featured on Wholesale Investor. Enjoy the interview and reach out via the details in the description.
Hi, and welcome to another CEO interview. Today, I'm joined by Michael Doerr, founder and CEO at OENO Wine and Whisky Fund. Thank you for joining me, Michael.
Pleasure. Thanks for being here.
Now, Michael, it's great to have you here today for this interview. And to begin this interview today, and this is for prospective investors who would not have an understanding of the wine fund, can you give us a bit of an overview to begin our interview today?
Sure. Okay. So the company OENO has been going for close to a decade now. We founded the company with its head offices in London, England. We're now currently in about 8 countries globally. And we've been awarded number 1 in our sector now 2 years running on the planet, which is great. And we have several different arms of the company. So we have a private investor collector arm. We have a trade arm, so we sell a lot of fine wine and whiskey to restaurants, hotels, other merchants. And then we have a merchant arm as well, OENO House. So it's our, we like to see it as our window into the company, right? So it's a beautiful wine shop, wine bar in the city of London.
Brilliant. Now, for my next question, I would love to ask you about the origin story of OENO. So can you tell us from inception, what was the motivation behind starting the fund?
Sure. So, well, the motivation originally for the fund was to break into the Australian market. And we got a lot of investors from Australia approaching us over the past 2 years. And just saying they want to get involved in the wine and whiskey sector as an investment, but they had no platform over here to do so. So they were opening accounts with us over in the UK, and it's when we partnered up with Charles Nee, Maxwell Nee over here, who are 2 good friends and clients of the company, investors of the company. And we decided to approach the Australian market totally differently than we approach most other markets. So we said, do you know what, let's set up a fund. Let's fully manage the investment for all the clients. Let's make it attractive to kind of all levels of investors. It's perfect for something like super funds, self-managed super funds. So it was really something that we decided to go into and offer a totally different service than anyone else. And if you look at all the other wine investment funds on the planet, they're very, one-dimensional. They're very focused on just buying Bordeaux wines, holding long-term, and very boring, and that's it, right? We're very diverse. We buy wine from all over the planet. We buy whiskey from some of the rarest and greatest distilleries on the planet. And then we have the exit strategies built in through the OENO company, through our trade arm, through our merchant arm, to then sell the stock as they mature over time. So we saw it as a really hands-on approach to manage our clients' funds. And kind of give a best service over here in Australia than we could.
Amazing. Thank you for that. Now, my next question, which I believe investors would have in mind, is what is the unique investment methodology? You touched upon this, but anything else that you would like to add to that?
Yeah, I think so. The whole concept of the fund is to purchase stock early in its years. So purchase on first release, for example. Especially on the wine side of stuff, we're looking at focusing majority of the fund, 70% of the fund will be in fine wine. We'll be diversifying that across wines from Burgundy, Bordeaux, Champagne, Italy, Spain, Australia, Napa Valley, California. We'll be buying stock, young, letting it mature over time, and then selling it out probably year 4 or 5. It's a 5-year fixed term for the fund. So we'll be holding it, and as the stock is consumed in the market, and as the stock ages, it increases in price. So those 2 factors help push the price up. So historically, you're looking around about 12 to 15% growth per annum is what really the market's shown. That's what we've shown as a company as well, our average growth kind of per year. The fund's got a hurdle rate of about 9% is what we're targeting. We like to under-promise and overachieve. We do hope to achieve a lot more in the fund over the next 5 years, but we've set a nice hurdle rate at 9%. And then on the cask side of stuff, we are buying the whiskey. We're diversifying and buying a lot of whiskey from North America, a lot of bourbon. Huge market at the moment, growing huge, kind of where Scotch was 10 years ago. We've got in there a nice collection of bottles we have in there of some aged Scotch as well. probably some Macallan casks we'll be focusing on. And those ideas for the casks are quite simple. It's either we're buying the casks to sell back to the distillery. We've got very close relationships with the whiskey distilleries who buy the whiskey back from us after 4 years. They need to buy off us aged Scotch to then blend it with other whiskies. So that's interesting. Or we're going to bottle the casks and then sell those bottles on to our client and customer database for the end consumers.
Brilliant. Now, for my next question, Michael, I would love to ask you about the track record of the fund. Now, you have given us some numbers, but anything else you would like to add to that?
Yeah, so the track record of obviously the fund's just released. The track record has no fund. The company itself, OENO, where the fund comes from, has got a track record, and we've shown between 11 and 15.87% growth each and every single year for our clients.
Oh, brilliant.
If we look at the whiskey market as a whole, the whiskey market's gone up an incredible amount over the past 5 years, about 480%, just over 1,000% in 10 years. Wine itself has performed amazing as well, and Knight Frank just released a really interesting report if investors can take a look at it, and it gives them a good overview of how both markets, from an independent kind of point of view, have performed.
Amazing. Now, for my next question, Michael, I want to talk to you about the team behind OENO. So can you tell us about the skills and their experience and why investors would feel safe in the hands of your team?
Sure. Director of the fund is Charles Nee, who is a personal friend of mine, but just one of the most genuine gentlemen you ever meet. Really nice guy. He's been in kind of financial industry for over 2 decades now, won numerous awards, highly experienced. So very safe captain to have at the head of the ship. Justin Knock, our Director of Wine, is a Master of Wine, originally from Australia. Again, lovely guy. He's actually director for the entire OENO group for all of the wines that come into the firm. But he's going to be making sure that all of the wine stock that comes into the fund goes through him first, kind of make sure we've got the right stock in there. He is a judge for the Decanter World Wine Awards, hugely respected in the industry, so one of the most notorious Masters of Wine on the planet. And we have 2 other Masters of Wine, so we're actually the only fund ever on the planet to have 3 Masters of Wine attached to the company, which is great. Gabriele Gorelli is Italy's first Master of Wine. Lovely guy, very innovative thinker, and helps us get into the doors, the rare vineyards and wineries in Italy. And he's incredibly well respected over in Italy, so he's kind of got our Italian side of thing taken care of. And then Almudena Alberca is Spain's first female Master of Wine. Amazing woman, very passionate, and again helps us kind of make sure we're selecting the right stock over from Spain as well. So just with those guys along, and we've got a young chap called Mattia Tobacco, who is our kind of head wine buyer and rare wine trading, and he sources some of the rarest stock on the planet. We've got bottles which there's maybe only 2 or 3 left in the world. So just with those guys alone, you know that you're going to have one serious portfolio of wine and whiskey, that's for sure.
Amazing. Sounds like you do have a very strong team backing your product. Yeah. Now, as a parting question, Michael, I would love to know, what does your outlook look like, let's say for the medium term? That would be for the 6 to 12 months. What should investors be excited to see with your venture?
I think for the first 6 to 12 months, we focus on blue chip stock. So think about, Macallan cask or bottles of Macallan in the fund. You'll be thinking about DRC, one of the rarest, most formidable wines on the planet, probably. Penfolds Grange, Hill of Grace, sort of thing for local consumers. I think we'll be looking at taking on the blue chip stock first of all in the first year of the fund, because that blue chip stock is where we think we'll see the highest growth, and we want to kind of get it in there as early as possible so we can ride it for the full 5 years. The longer we can hold the stock for, the more appreciation you're going to see. So it's about getting in early, getting in some of the serious stock, and making as much profit over the next 5 years.
Amazing. Sounds very exciting. You definitely have the team, you have the experience, and you have a great product, which I myself have tried, and I can say that, being a wine lover myself, it does have that unique element to it. Well, thank you so much again, Michael, for joining me for this interview, and I wish you all the luck with your venture. For anyone who's interested to get in touch with the team at OENO, please see the details at the side of the screen and in the description, and someone will reach out to you shortly. Thank you.